All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the saddle. And I got to tell you, today is going to be another Hall of Famer. We've got a guest who is in the top 100 North Carolina agents, a 5-time EXP Icon Award winner. You're going to meet her next, Alexis Hughes, right here on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Guarantees coming. Travis, did I peg the needle there, man? I realized it just came in a little hot on that intro, man.
No. You were good.
All good.
I think the speaker was just a little hot.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were good.
I thought maybe that was me because I was coming in hot. I'm in from Cabo, man. 10 days. C3 was hanging out in New York City with family and stuff. How was your trip?
It was really good.
Yeah.
Always a great time to spend it with family and get to go up to the Big Apple.
The Big Apple?
Yeah, hang out up there and
see the Big Gary and family.
Got to go check out Ground Zero, Empire State Building.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, we were just up there a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah.
For Inman.
Yeah. That was a lot cooler.
Well, not Inman. I'm sorry. I was up there in April last year. Last time we were up there was the NASDAQ ringing the bell.
Well, that was also the Inman conference.
But it was Inman. That's right. That's right. They
lined up together.
Kind of unexpectedly did them at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I am super excited about our guest today. I'm just going to let me read a little bit of this. I'll tell you, she's such a rock star. I got to read this, okay? So, in addition to being published on various sites such as the Charlotte Business Journal, the South Charlotte Weekly, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Business, and Access Wire, our guest, Alexis Hughes, has been honored with awards such as the 2017 Vane Mingle Rookie of the Year nominee, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022 EXP Icon Award, which means she sold a ton of houses and got all of her cap back in company stock. The 2019 Humanitarian of the Year Award, Top 100 North Carolina Agents on Social Media, 2021 Real Trends Tom Ferry America's Best Real Estate Professional Rising Star Award. Let's bring her in without any further ado. Alexis, hello from Charlotte, North Carolina. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing today?
Well, our day just got a whole lot better. Thank you very much. It's great to see you.
You as well. You as well.
So we were having a little chit chat before the show, and you were telling me you guys just put on 5 listings today.
So I run a team of agents, but I also still produce because I believe you have to know what you're teaching your agents. So myself put on 5 listings today, but one of my agents who's not been licensed a year just put on his first $1 million and up listing. So Matt Keefe, congrats.
That is awesome. Congrats. And I'm sorry, what's his name?
His name is Matthew Keefe. Amazing agent. He's been licensed a little less than a year, and he has got the best listing in Waxhaw, North Carolina. It's right outside of Charlotte ever.
Oh, I'm excited. You know, we're gonna unpack some things about your business and talk about how this sort of gift of discernment that you have when it comes to picking people for your team. And I'd also like to kind of give our audience a chance. You know, we always like to bring high producing celebrity agents on the show here and offer the tips, tricks, and tactics that they're using in their business. But you know, what's really, I think, interesting is the story. We always have really interesting stories about people, how they got into the business, what motivated them, what keeps them motivated, and so forth. And Alexis, if you don't mind, I'd like to kind of just rewind here a little bit and go back and if we could just learn more about you as a person and what it was like growing up, would you tell us a little bit about what it was like when your younger years?
Of course. So they weren't the greatest. I grew up in foster care until I was 15 years old. My biological mother had a problem with drugs, and my biological father had a problem with alcohol. And so we bounced around from a lot of different foster homes. When I was 15, I landed in my last foster home with amazing people who I'm lucky enough to call my adopted parents. At the time, 15-year-old me thought I knew everything, so I didn't appreciate them quite as much as I should back then. Um, from there, I met my husband when I was 21. We got married. We had babies very quickly. I was a stay-at-home mom of three little ones. We survived off my husband's salary. We there's no way to pay for daycare for three kids and me still work. It would be pointless. So he was making just shy of 42,000 a year before taxes, before the forced state retirement that North Carolina has. And we were on Medicaid, WIC, you name it, food stamps, and we were just scraping by. And in December of 2016, I can remember uh, getting into an argument. What do they say? Married couples argue about finances. Getting into an argument about McDonald's, of all places. And I decided then, I said, you know what? I've got to find something. I've got to do something. I cannot be in this environment where I can't give my kids what I didn't have. My husband was working 12-hour shifts left and right, like no days, no breaks, and that wasn't fair to him. So I said, I'm going to do real estate because if I sell three houses a year, that's going to put us in a completely different environment than where we were. Got licensed in May of 2017, affiliated with my first firm in June of 2017, and went on to sell 23 houses, got the Rookie of the Year nomination, and honestly grossed 73,000 that year, which was about 2.5 times more than my husband was bringing home. And I was like, wow, this is big. This is life changing. Realized we can buy more than McDonald's now.
Oh my gosh, you could probably buy a McDonald's franchise today, I'm
Right?
sure. Yeah. Gosh, you're an anomaly in a lot of ways. If you look at the foster care system in this country, and I'm not an expert on it, but I would venture to say that it's pretty unusual for people that make it through that process to come out on the end that you're on with a success. I mean, with your spirit, with just your positive outlook on life and so forth. What do you go, if you look back in those formative years, what do you go back to? You said at 15, the parents that you wound up, spending the rest of your childhood with were a big impact. How did you get through those first 15 years?
Um, I think a lot of it has to do with who I am, just personality wise. I am a person that if you tell me I can't do something, my mission is to prove you wrong. What motivates me is being right. I know, terrible, but that's what it is. And so the first couple of years, I would say until I was probably 11 or 12, it was mostly just wanting to be enough. Right. So I wasn't enough for my parents, but I could be enough for somebody. So I constantly sought approval. When I was about 11 or 12, I can remember my biological father coming to a foster home that we were at. And he literally said to me and my brother, I don't want her, I just want him. And I remember thinking that day, I am going to make you regret ever not wanting me, period. And from that point on, I made it my mission to do that. I relied on myself, which there's a certain strength in being the lone wolf that you get. You don't care what people think of you. You don't care if someone tells you you can't do something. You're going to, simply because that's who you are.
Who was your hero back then? Did you have a hero?
Oh gosh, way back then, you're gonna laugh, but I am a fan of English royal history. So I read a lot of history and I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to be like, Anne Boleyn was. She was hard, fast. She got what she wanted when she wanted it. And she did not let anyone telling her, this is abnormal. You shouldn't speak out of turn, or you can't do this. You can't reform English society. Get to her. And even when she was at her lowest point, she held her head high right until they cut off her head. So I guess Anne Boleyn.
My gosh. So you were a reader when you were younger then?
Oh, I went through the Harry Potter series in 6th grade in like 3 days. I loved
Whoa,
The whole series?
that's a big
the
series.
entire series.
Wow.
I feel like each book gets bigger and bigger and bigger as
They
you go
do.
through.
You get, yeah, you buy them by the pound now, I think. That's the way
yeah.
they sell them. Yeah. That's incredible. And throughout that period of, I mean, you weren't feeling love really from, the people who were trying to care for you, I guess, in a sense. But yet you persisted, and that persistence lives inside of you today. What are some of the other qualities that you picked up along the way that helped you become a great real estate agent?
Other than the persistence, not being self-conscious. So when you grow up in that environment, whether it be the foster family that you're with or your biological parents or any of that, you really have to develop a thick skin very early on and have a confidence in yourself. So I would say the self-confidence was one piece. The other piece is you have to have a why. Everybody tells you that you have to have a why. And my why was I knew what a shitty life not having money and having terrible parents could be. And my why became my children. 1000%. So money doesn't make the world go round. Money doesn't give you happiness, but it makes it a lot easier to obtain happiness and security and stability and all those things that most foster children don't get. Money makes that happen. So I knew I've got to do something that can make us wealthy in the long
Yeah. Money does give you options for sure, and security, and fills in things. It won't give you love, but it'll help give you alternatives, options in other ways that will help you find the love you're looking for. But the thing is that in our industry, we have a very high rate of, I'm going to use the word failure. 88% of, this is an NAR statistic, 88% of agents who get their license fail to renew it at their first anniversary. Why do you think that is? And when you set out to build your team, how did you go about identifying people that you felt would be successful?
So I think mostly the reason for that stat is every person innately has a fight or flight response. So if they're feeling fear, if they're feeling rejection, which rejection will give you a fear response, there are two sets of people. They're going to be the people that fight through it and the people that run from it. I am a fighter at heart, so I ran head on. I was like, if this is what we're going to have to do, let's slay the dragon, let's get over it and move forward. There are agents in our industry that fly from it because they're afraid of not being accepted. They're afraid of what their spouse may think of them, because real estate brings out a side of you that maybe your spouse never saw before. I've been through that with my husband. The fear of being told no, all of that, they fly from it. It's easier to just say, oh, this didn't work out, rather than to look within yourself and say, you know what, this didn't work out because I didn't give it 100%. I was too scared of being told no. Let me find a way that I can change what I do to get me to the goal I want to reach. That's number one. And how I identify my teammates is I need people that counteract my strengths. So when I look for team members, I'm looking for team members that are strong in areas I'm weak. Some of those areas are, I'm a big picture person, not a detail person. So I'm looking for someone detailed. I'm very blunt. A lot of people will say I'm obnoxious in how I deliver things. So I'm looking for people that maybe are a little bit softer. But ultimately, what I'm looking for is someone that has a I'm not going to quit. I am self-aware. I am willing to admit when I'm wrong and I need to fix things, and I'm going to do the work to do it. I don't like excuses. The people I mentor will come to me with 1,000 excuses. of why something didn't work. And I will call them out. So if you come to me as a mentee or you come to me as someone joining my team, I'm not going to baby you. I wasn't babied. I've been through hell and back in my life, and I'm fine and I'm doing great and my kids are great. There's no excuse you can give me out there that I haven't been through. And if I can push through it, you can push through it. But you have to admit that you're the problem, not the environment.
So yeah, that is interesting. Is there, when you're interviewing people, do you have specific things that you ask to figure out, whether their why is big enough? What's the sort of interview process with your team?
So when I'm interviewing new agents, the first thing I do is I'll ask them what they're looking for in a team leader. Why are you joining a team? Because I have never been on a team my entire career and I was fine. So there's a reason you're seeking a team. Why? If that aligns with how I run my team and what they're looking for, then we move to the next step. If it doesn't, I'm honest with them. I'm not the right fit for you. What you're seeking, I cannot provide. But if they move to the next step, then we're going to talk about their why. Some things I look for: are you stuttering when you're saying your why? When I ask you what has prevented you from obtaining your goals before me, you're seeking me out, so you obviously had goals you didn't reach. What prevented you from doing that? I'm looking for them to admit their own fault in it. Because if you can't admit your own fault, then I'm going to spend the next 9 months trying to get you to have some self-realization. And I'm not your life coach. I'm your team leader.
Okay. Speaking of coaches, let's talk about how coaches played or didn't play a role in your real estate career for a bit.
They definitely did. And I will tell you, for the first 3 years, I was anti-coach. I was like, this is a money grab. I don't need a coach. I'm good. When I broke down, my sponsor with the XP put me in coaching with a coach, Carlos Velez, and it was life-changing because he made me realize the fears that I didn't think I had that were holding me back. And so it wasn't so much that he was a life coach, but he helped me realize the fears from my childhood and growing up, how they played into my business today. He also helped me realize you don't have to be a lone wolf. Like, I was anti-team. I don't want anybody. I'm good. I'm going to do it all by myself. I don't need anybody to scale this mountain. And so he helped me realize that, having a team and having people there to complement you is not a weakness. And that helped me dive into a lot of situations with my current firm I never would have put myself in before, because prior I viewed it as a weakness, whereas now I view a team as a strength if done right. I've also done leadership training with Dave Ferguson before, and that was good because as I naturally started growing my organization with our firm, I realized I'm really good at giving what's the word I'm looking for? I'm really good at telling you what to do, but I'm not good at leading. I'm not good at teaching you how to do it yourself and then become me through duplicatable actions. And so that really helped me realize that I'm a leader and I need to own it and how to do that correctly.
Interesting. Wow. That's the whole thing about coaches, and a lot of people have that opinion if they've never had a really good coach initially, is, hey, they're just out here to get my credit card every month. But a really good coach can save a lot of wear and tear on you and shorten the length of time it takes you to master the trade. Now, people look at you today, Alexis, and go, wow, you are at the top of the business. I mean, you've done everything amazing. You've got all these awards and accolades. But I bet the road hasn't always been a freeway, has it?
Not by any stretch of the imagination. So, we had that honeymoon phase with real estate where I was making really good money and we were in a different place, my family. But what you trade for that is burnout, time with your family, losing focus of what your original why was. I have times during the first 2 years of my career where my kids are like, mom's not going to read it to us because she's just going to talk on the phone. All mom cares about is work. Mom's never home. But then you look at that too from a marriage aspect of my husband, who's used to me being there, doing everything. But all of a sudden, I'm gone. He doesn't know who I'm talking to, who I'm with, any of that. And we didn't communicate very well about it because all I could see myself personally was I'm doing what needs to be done for our family. There's no way I can say no to this client because I don't know when I'm going to get another one. There's no way I can say no to this networking event because I could meet a really good client there. And it was sacrificing my original why, my kids and my husband, to continue to be successful. And so when I joined EXP Realty, it was because of their CRM. But about 2.5 years into my career, I realized, the stock and the financial freedom that revenue share gives agents, that breathing room to really be able to keep their why forefront, was an imperative to where I'm at today. Stock alone.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer to be able to generate income through additional pillars in the business. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so with that in mind, you were talking about, having burnout and there being somewhat of a need of balance. What are some of the ways that you today focus on keeping that work-life balance with your husband, with your children, and managing that while running and operating a team like you have?
So I'm going to be honest, the stock gave us some financial freedom for me to really have control over that. We were able to pay off our cars. We were able to pay off our mortgage just from the stock alone. And that gives me the ability to make decisions based off of what will benefit myself and my family rather than necessity. And so when you are in a situation where you're down to the wire, you have to have this money, you can't make decisions based off of what you want or the life you're trying to design. You have to make them based off of necessity. So how it's transitioned is now I can make decisions based off of, does this serve me and my family well? Is there a return on investment for my time here? Is this client worth me berating them to my husband over dinner one night when all he wants to talk about is something other than real estate? So having financial freedom gets you to a point where you can make decisions and you can balance your time and you can say no. Additionally, I have learned, because I'm surrounded by multi-million dollar producers that have been able to teach me. So, instead of learning the mistakes on my own, I've gotten to watch them and listen to them, in time blocking and time management, which is not a strength I have. I am a fly by the seat type of gal, but learning the importance of that and seeing how that plays out into productivity and being able to have that balance has been really important. Also, don't use alcohol to cope with stress. It's great if you want to have fun, but I found myself using alcohol to cope with the stresses and the ups and downs of real estate, and it just digs you into a deeper hole. Don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. And your husband, does he still do work outside of real estate, or is he now involved with you?
No, so I am proud to say he is involved with us about 3 years in. Once the stock kicked in and we were able to pay off the house and the cars, we were at a point where we were comfortable for him to retire a 20-year career in 911. It had taken its toll on him, and he gave me, all that time to be a stay-at-home mom with my children and stuff, and I wanted to return the favor. So he took some time off and, puttered in the yard. He loves yard work. He was there for our kids so I could really hit real estate hard. And now he is a partner in my business.
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Was he a dispatcher?
Yes, and I was too. That's how we met.
What?
Wow.
Okay, so we got to give a shout out to Hunter
Bonner,
and Stephanie.
Yeah.
They're on our team. In fact, Stephanie's expecting twins right now. And Hunter retired early from being a 911 operator and is now one of our listing agents and is doing a great job. So that's interesting. I would have never really made the connection between that role, but when you're you learn skills when you're on that phone,
For sure.
right? And you learn, get shit done, and you
don't know what's on the other line when you get that phone,
and you learn how to listen.
Right.
What did you learn that you brought with you from that experience into real estate, Alexis?
So 911 taught a lot for real estate. Number one, you will have at any given time 50 different things going on. So you're taking a call where, it's the worst day of someone's life and you're having to go through protocols and systems to get them to the right place. But at the same time, you're listening to 20 other calls over here from your officers or your EMS or your fire crew, and you're having to give them instructions and send more units. So multitasking definitely came into play. Systems and protocols too, because if you learn systems and protocols, your brain just automatically reacts and it knows exactly what to do in situations that are high pressure. Real estate in nature is a high pressure situation. If you're doing any kind of volume, you're going to have pressure, you're going to have stress. And so it helps you to really maintain that. And I would say just, being able to talk to people. When you have a child call you and mom and dad are fighting and it's a domestic violence situation, I'm a survivor of that myself. And so my heart would go out to them, but I had to put my feelings aside and be able to get this child to feel safe and calm, but also give me the information so my officers could stay safe when they arrive, because domestic calls are the most volatile calls there are, while keeping myself composed. Well, how does that work in real estate? Problem solving, keeping people calm under pressure, staying calm under pressure yourself, making sure your emotions stay in check so they don't play into it. All of it goes into it. There's no better training in the world for real estate other than 911.
That's
Wow,
so
boy,
interesting.
that was some writer downers there.
Yeah,
You
no,
know
most
that?
definitely.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow,
I'm
that's
sure those are some tough calls to deal with too, as a person.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've had some tough calls in real estate.
Well,
to deal
yeah,
with too.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
definitely some
yeah,
correlation.
I mean, you have such a heart for other people, and I guess that's probably a product of the way you were raised, or not raised, or however you want to describe it. But tell us a little bit about some of your altruistic goals. What kind of legacy do you want to leave, Alexis?
I think ultimately I want to be able to leave the world better than it was. One of the number one goals I have, I work with a lot of domestic violence awareness associations, because being in that atmosphere as a child growing up plays into who you become as an adult. So even though I stayed in one foster home starting from 15 to 17, because of those 15 years before, at 17 years old, I graduated high school earlier. I was done. I moved out of that house. But what happened is I ended up repeating the past, the history that I knew. So bringing awareness to everybody that, number one, you don't have to stay in that situation. Number two, we can help you get out safely. Number three, that situation is not who you are. If you were abused as a child, that does not define who you are today. Don't let that interfere with your confidence and where you're going. And if you have been in an abusive situation, that person that abused you is not the maker or breaker of your story and your destiny. And so I think showing others, but also my children, because they're going to be old enough one day where they're going to know my story whole and understand the significance of it. And I want them to understand that you can't be like why doesn't she just leave? Why doesn't she just leave is a question that domestic violence survivors hear over and over and over. And it is victim blaming because it's not as easy as you think. So I want my children to take this legacy, this real estate business that we're building. We're in 8 states and 2 countries, and we're going to keep going. But I want them to take that, and I want them to take that worldwide. Real estate helped us as a family, but it's also helped us to help others. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, that's your goal. What are you going to leave on this world? When you leave this world and go into the ground, are they going to say, wow, Alexis Hughes and her family made a bunch of money? Or are they going to say, wow, Alexis Hughes and her family helped thousands of domestic violence survivors, sexual abuse survivors, thousands of people dealing with being homeless, thousands of students in high school and elementary school that thought that they could never be anything because of where they came from, but now they're CEOs and executives and business owners, and they're killing it, and they change the cycle for their family. That's my ultimate goal. Change the cycle for my family and show others they can too.
That's awesome.
That is
yeah.
awesome.
Do you need
Yeah.
like speaking engagements at the local community, like schools or anything like that, for kids to hear your story?
So when asked, I do. My story is a little strong, so it's more geared towards high school students. So I do. I also have partnered with a company called Thread Talk, and it is founded by a domestic violence survivor, Hannah Kay, and they give blankets because, as silly as it sounds, when domestic violence survivors leave, blankets. They need blankets at these homes where women are going to stay safe, and they don't have them. But every single part of Thread Talk, anything that's sold from them goes towards domestic violence foundations to raise funds for them and awareness. So I was featured in her book, and we're going to be working on going out to different colleges in the areas and speaking to them and donating a journal, so to speak, to help them recognize red flags and kind of make a plan if they are in a domestic violence situation, because it comes out of nowhere. People think, oh, he hits you, why are you with him? Well, he didn't used to hit me, there were good times, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's a cancer in our society. It really is. So with regard to this legacy, for us, I mean, we're able to do that. My kids are involved with me in the business, and this would not have been possible at any other brokerage than EXP because of the rev share and the stock component. How will rev share and stock help you continue to grow your legacy after you've retired?
Well, it's several different ways, but the number one way is the financial freedom, right? So, all the time that I put into selling real estate right now, I love selling real estate, but eventually I'm going to get older, and I'm not going to want to sell houses until I'm 80. That revenue share gives me that freedom to be able to step back when I need to. Additionally, what it does is right now it gives me extra funds to be able to invest in these foundations and things that are important to my heart to make the world a better place. But I think the most important part is every single person in my organization is not a dollar sign to me. Their revenue share is great, right? But it's a rising tide floats all boats. Because you're in my organization now, I'm going to be able to help you realize your goals. I'm going to help you be able to realize your why. I'm going to help you grow beyond me, hopefully, if I've done my job as your sponsor, right? And eventually, you're going to be able to give back to important foundations and causes that are important to you because you have financial freedom too. If everybody in the world had financial freedom, don't you think the world would be an amazing place? So let's make as many people in our industry have financial freedom as possible so they can do that.
Yeah, and the fact that this is willable, I mean, that is one of the great
Yeah.
things. We're actually creating generational wealth here. It doesn't stop when you retire, and when your children, plug into your position in the company, they'll continue to benefit and grow that asset that you've worked so hard to build. Yeah, it's funny. I don't think I've ever been to a realtor's retirement party. But
Nope.
I'm sure we're gonna see quite a few big ones here at EXP, but before too long.
I think we do. We have a huge network of agents to learn from and collaborate with. And, that equity, that willable equity, it makes it to where they want to share with us. They want to give us their secret sauce and help the agents that are coming after them to continue to build on what an amazing company we are. My three children, I never thought about them taking over the company until about 4 years in. And ask them first day of school, it says, what do you want to be when you grow up, on the little sign you take a picture of? They all said, I want to work with EXP Realty. Every single one of them unprovoked. And I was just like, I am glad that you can. I am glad that this is willable. And all you have to do is, get licensed, turn 18, and then you can build your own too. And everything I'm building doesn't just fall to the wayside as soon as I go in the ground.
Yeah, yeah, it is so amazing, and thank you, Glenn Sanford, for your brilliance in creating the model because you've really helped change so many lives. Well, I want to talk for just a minute and just kind of change tracks and talk a little bit about the market and agents right now. We've still got almost 1.6 million agents in the country. Lord knows why. I mean, sales are down in some areas 40%. So it's really a lot less of the pie going around to the same number of agents. And it's tough. I mean, people actually have to, have a skill set now in order to sell a house, and it's not just a matter of order taking. What advice do you have for agents to be doing in this particular cycle that we're in right now?
For the last 3 years, it's been post it, it'll sell. No negotiating. Nobody had to learn those skills. So agents now, they're in a place where they can truly be the cream that rises to the top. But to get there, you have to learn and you have to develop. You need to be somewhere where you're getting training and not training from the lady in the office that sells 4 houses a year and needs some supplemental income. You need to be learning from the people doing the icon agents with the EXP. If you don't, or if you're not with EXP, number one, come to EXP. But number two, find someone in your local market that can teach you because this is where you learn. Additionally, you have to prospect, you have to lead generate, you have to do it every single day. You are your business. So as a single agent starting out, you are a corporation, you are marketing, you are accounting, you are follow-up, you are customer service, you are admin, you are data. All these things that huge multi-million dollar corporations have, you've got to be that from day one until you get yourself to a point to hire those things out. So remember that. Treat your business like a business. You're not an employee, you're a 1099 contractor. You got into this for financial freedom. So how much work are you going to put in to get to that point?
Yeah, it's so true. So many of us were renting our careers before we got over to EXP, and now we're building, building our future and our legacy. So it's really a great place to be. Alexis, I know there's some people watching this show today who would really like to reach out to you, and some of them, it might be somebody who's sitting there right now that's just shaking because of what you talked about earlier with domestic violence, and it might be somebody who's at a brokerage where they're just not getting loved on like they need to. What's the best way for someone to reach out and get in your calendar or get on a call with you?
So I have alexisfamilytree.com. You can plug directly into my calendar there. You can reach me on any social media at Alexis Hughes Realtor. That's my handle for all social media. And my cell phone is 704-773-2117. So if you shoot me a text and you tell me you want to talk, I'm here to talk. Even if I'm not ready to switch right now or it's just about the domestic violence portion of it. I'm here. I want to make an impact for you, not for me, and just make sure you have the resources and support to get to where you need to go.
Do us a favor and give us that cell phone once more.
Sure. It's 704-773-2117.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've got a question for Alexis as well. I couldn't stop the whole time looking at your background. Describe what the meaning of those three posters mean to you.
So my background, it says ability, motivation, attitude. Well, the other way. And so that's my reminder every single day. Ability. I have the ability to take myself from where I am today and go anywhere else I want to go. And how am I going to do that? I can only have that ability through learning and growing each and every single day. So I'm going to educate myself. Motivation. Motivation is not something you're going to get every single day. Some days you're not going to feel like it. Some days you are. So self-affirmation. When I'm not motivated, every single morning I'm looking at those self-affirmations. I'm listening to Tony Robbins, Cliff Freeman sometimes too. And I'm making sure that I'm motivating myself. I'm thinking about my why. So it's not, do I feel like doing this today? Do I feel like prospecting and getting told no? I sure don't. But what if me choosing not to do that takes away something from my children? What if me choosing not to do that takes away the key to some agent's career? I have the knowledge and they don't get it because I'm not motivated. What happens if, me choosing not to prospect and do that and get told no keeps a domestic survivor victim in a situation too long? So that's my motivation. And then the attitude. My attitude is I'm going to do it. I'm going to be positive no matter what. I'll answer the phone and I talk on the phone with a smile on my face because you can hear it. So what's your attitude? Is your attitude defeated? If you're going into battle and you already feel defeated, well, you just lost the whole war. So you need to tell yourself, I'm going to win. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be positive. And no matter what bad thing happens, there's something to learn from it that's going to make me better. It's preparing me for something better, something higher.
Wow, that's awesome. I know you're a big mindset person, and do a lot of work with self-development. Will we see you in San Antonio in July at Build this year?
No, unless I can find a nanny.
Well, that's
I am
summertime.
trying
You got to bring your kids. There's a lazy river.
Yes, I want to, and so we're interviewing because of Cabo. We have a lot of people in our back pocket that we can reach out to, so we're trying to get that situated for July. I'll definitely be at Shareholder Summit this year and working on EXPCon. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say anything, but I'm going to be speaking in a breakout session at Shareholder Summit for just KV Core and using it the right way. It took me from like barely 4 million to 20 million in 2020 during COVID as a single agent. So I'm a big proponent of our CRM, and I'm excited to be there and speak on it.
We'll have to pick your brain on
Yeah,
that
we
one.
need to hop on a call as well with you and share some of the things that we're doing
With
KB Core, Alexis. Yeah, it's got a
Absolutely.
lot of lead generation capability, and
Oh, yeah.
we use it a lot. So, well, that's great. So, so we won't see you at Build. I don't know. I'm going to see if we can figure out a way to make something happen.
I'm gonna find a nanny.
Yeah, for sure. So what, I know you said you were a reader and we're about to wrap up here, but
Great question.
I want to ask you,
Yep.
what is one of the, if you're, do you read business books and self-development? And if you do, tell us what you're reading now and give us really a good top recommendation, if you don't mind.
So I do read business and self-development books. It's going to sound insane. Read the 5 languages of love. It's going to help you learn not just about relationships with your spouse, but also with you as a person, and help you avoid conflict when you feel like you're not getting something from a situation or a person, but also help you understand yourself, how you communicate, and maybe why that's coming off the wrong way to others. That's number 1. Number 2, I love Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. Unfortunately, and this is for men or women, read it, because we have in this mindset of ours sometimes that we don't deserve it, or we're being too brash, or it's wrong to go after what you want, and that really gives you a good mindset. And then I love Die with Zero, because we have so much pressure in our lives because of retirement, the big bad retirement. And it really gives you a different outlook on how to save for retirement and what you should be doing. And reading that and changing your way of thinking really takes some of the pressure off, so you can enjoy where you're at now rather than trying to save billions and gazillions for when you're 80 and can't go skydiving like you wanted to when you were 34.
Wow.
Can't take it with you.
Can't take it.
You can't take it with you.
I've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. Yes, you're right. Never have.
Exactly.
Yeah. By the way, do you have any events that you guys are doing in Charlotte that we can plug just real quick here?
So we're working on some events. We don't have them fully planned yet, but we're working on it. Our goal for 2023 is to have 8 events in Charlotte for everybody that is in Charlotte or surrounding areas in person. Normally we do them at the Charlotte Convention Center, 700 plus people. It's an all day thing. I think we're wanting to pull these in and make them a little more intimate. So the tickets are going to be very limited. If you can get your spot soon, because it's going to be more workshop oriented, less motivational. We do have an event in Hilton Head coming up April 24th that I'm a speaker at, along with Rich Tomasini, Dave Ferguson, that coach I mentioned, Dave Ferguson, Chuck and Angela Fazio, Rob Tucker, and it's going to be an amazing event. So those tickets do cost. realestatedominate.com. I'm going to be talking about building your brand and the power of authenticity in your business. So
I think there's some good golf courses out there.
I do believe
amazing.
so. You can go to the event and I'll go play some golf. No, I'm just
Well, if you need somebody to hold your mic for you or something, or let me know. Maybe we can find our way out there and schlep our golf clubs with us. Southwest is golf club friendly.
And after the podcast, please let's drop those links to those events in the comments so people can click on those and find out how to register.
Because these events, I swear they kill it.
Oh, the way they run events up there is second to none. Almost kind of like how we run our events here.
It's amazing. Yeah, they do a super job there. Everybody piles on and contributes.
All hands on deck.
Yeah.
We have amazing leadership in Charlotte, and so I'm not going to take credit for those events. I'm there, I help, I speak sometimes, but our leaders, Shelly Johnson, Craig LePage, Rich Tomasini, Bill Price, they're local to our AJ Maida. They're all local to our area, and that is why we have such a great culture. So I'm just going to say one thing because I hear it all the time. Oh, EXP has a bad rap where we're at. Well, you be the force that changes that bad rap. We did too in Charlotte. Until we have these amazing leaders come in and change the face of EXP and make the culture what it is today, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. Stop worrying about everybody else. Michael Phelps does not look at the guy that's swimming beside of him. He looks forward.
Right.
Stop waiting for change.
Be the change. That's it. Yeah. Amen. That's
Ooh.
awesome. Yeah.
I like that.
Yes. Ouch. Yes. Alexis, I
I
can't
love my
believe
motivational quotes, guys.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. You've been amazing, and I can't believe this. It always goes like this, but we have come to the end of our allotted time here, and it's been just wonderful to have you on the show and share your story. You're such an inspiration for so many people.
Yes.
And you're a good force for the world here. So we love you and we support you. And let me know if I can ever, help you guys out there. I know you have a great handle on the stuff that you do, but I always feel like I should be doing more for you folks. And I'm always willing to, to do whatever I can because you're such great, brand ambassadors, I guess would be a great way to put it, huh? I mean, they
Yes.
really do an amazing job. So, and if you come to Dallas, you got to let us know.
Oh yeah, that was my next thing. If I'm ever in Dallas, we're gonna have to get lunch or coffee or dinner or something because I've got to meet you in person.
Yeah, for sure. And let's do this maybe sometime next week when the dust settles. If we could just hop on a Zoom call, and talk about a little lead gen. Maybe we can open the books and share some knowledge and have a good collaborative call. That would be awesome. That's what we do at EXP. So
Absolutely,
all
I would
right.
love it.
Okay, well, thank you. You have an awesome rest of your week, and just wish you the best. You're such an amazing person, Alexis. Thank you for being on the show today.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
you're welcome. That was over the top.
Knock your socks off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just such a touching. What a just an experience. That
Great
she
energy.
shared. Oh gosh, yeah.
Talent.
Yeah. Wow, this is going to be
Humble.
in the Hall of Fame for sure.
5-time icon winner.
I know.
mean,
Just
that's-
insane.
She's trying to catch Elizabeth Riley, I think.
Yeah, Elizabeth's 8. She's just going to have to outlive her.
Yeah,
I
just
think.
out.
Yeah. So, all right.
So
Trellis,
anyways,
it's great to be back in your presence, man. I'm telling you, it's such a blessing here. We missed you while we were away from the show, but
Yeah.
thank you for flying us successfully once again. Halfway across the world, and we're going to be back next week. Do we have Frank Gray on next week?
Frank Gray is next week in
Oh
studio.
my gosh! In the studio, you will not want to miss Frank Gray. He's from Houston. He merged
Former
his,
pastor.
Yeah, the Abbey Group down in Houston merged that into EXP. His story is unbelievable.
One of the largest independent brokerages
That's right.
in Houston.
And we're going to catch him next week right here on
Cliff's Notes.
All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.